Hello, everyone. So, I'm Stefan. I'm a Senior Vice President Product for Criteo, which is an ad tech company. And I'm super pleased to be in front of all of you today to talk to you about what is probably the most talked about trend in marketing today. So, I spent the last 20 years in ad tech. And over these 20 years, I spent probably 10 years working on something that's called retail media. And that's what we are going to talk today about. And I'm actually pleased because over these 20 years, I saw the evolution of the digital ad industry up to a point where now publishers are turning into media owners. But first thing first, who am I? So I told you my name. I'm Stefan. And I started actually to work in ad tech quite some time ago. And I started to study engineering in 1993, actually a year before the very first digital ad campaign went live in '94. And something which is fun fact, this ad campaign generated over 40% click-through rate, something that we are never going to be able to see nowadays. But what I'm going to speak to you about today is going to prove that we've created, thanks to our retailer connectivity, something which is powerful enough to prove how great an ad campaign can be measured. So today, I'm the French person speaking in English and at a German conference. So basically, I'm proving myself being adaptable. And adaptable has been a strong part of my career. When I look back, when I joined actually the ad tech industry in 2000, it's quite challenging to see where we are today. And I survived the internet bubble, which was quite something. I actually embraced digital ad ecosystem since then, in France mostly, but also in EMEA, which gives me a very good understanding about how the space is actually working and how it has evolved. I joined a company called 24/7 Media, who got acquired by WPP, who actually launched the very first programmatic data-driven network. And at that time, I was working for them in building the overall connection with all the publishers in those days. I wanted to go back to my previous kind of love, which is technology. And that's why I joined a startup, which is named Storytel, back in 2015. And at that time, we were working on enabling retailers and brands together into commerce measurement. This startup has been acquired in 2018 by Criteo. Criteo is a very well-known French ad tech company, one of the very first unicorns in France, who got listed into the NASDAQ. And Criteo sold the overall power of what will become the retail media. And this is why, since the past 4 years, we've been working in creating what we call the retail media platform. So, actually, that makes me kind of the dinosaur in the room. And then you see I'm using papers to actually help me remembering the entirety of my speech, not missing anything. I'm not using any digital things. That's just because I'm a little bit old school here. So I always wanted to create something that is blending my passion for technology and has a positive impact for customers up to their bottom line. So when I was working at 24/7, I was running a media network and was also selling ad-serving technology. So basically, I really understand the marketing struggle of proving the value of your marketing investment. That has been a challenge for almost all my life. And I remember a quote from someone named John Wanamaker, who is one of the pioneers in marketing in the US, who actually said that half my marketing investment is wasted. The issue is I don't know which half. So this is why I believe retail media is important, because it's trying to solve that issue that John raised. So I'm going to try today to prove John wrong in today's environment. So it's time to address retail media. So what is retail media? At its simplest form, it is marketing within a retail environment. What does that mean? It means that when you're thinking about the old days, it's probably about loyalty cards, coupons, everything that goes in store and that helps driving the consumer to shop about specific product. Now, fast forward to today, with the age of digital, it has evolved to embrace everything online. Retail media today is actually advertisements that are placed on retailer e-commerce websites by brands to influence the shopper at the very best place of their shopping journey. And you can see this almost everywhere. As soon as you start shopping into a retailer, you are now capable of being exposed to messages that are driving you to specific products, or you're exposed to product when you're searching for goods or when you are actually browsing LAs that are driving you to buy more product and more specific product. It goes with on-site, like what's happening onto the retailer, and it goes as well with off-site, what you can actually do to attract consumers on the retailer, with the main purpose of proving that you are actually selling more goods. Very often, it has been perceived as a lower funnel conversion tactics. But with the rise of different KPIs, we are now talking about awareness and consideration, and these are upper funnel tactics. So retail media is covering lower funnel as well as upper funnel tactics. On top of that, it is a unique opportunity because it's both an always-on tactic as well as communication tactic. And when you think about always on, you think about I'm showing the product that I want to sell at top of the pages, but I also want to communicate with my consumers and communicate in a sense that when I have a specific event, new product being released, or when I have a specific seasonality, I don't know, it's going to be Mother's Day in potentially a week from now, a week or 2 weeks from now. This is where I want to communicate and I want to engage with my consumers. But how does this work? So let's picture yourself, your Sunday evening. You want to prepare your meal. You go to your fridge. There's nothing there. Or almost nothing. You're not going to die. But you're not going to go outside, shop at your favorite grocery shop. You're going to go actually opening your laptop, go online, visit your best grocery online shop, and you're going to start your shopping journey. You're going to land into the home page. You're going to be exposed to products. You're going to be exposed to promotions. You're going to search for your yogurt, your meal, whatever, and you're going to be exposed to product pages that are containing sponsored elements paid by brands. So that's a simplistic vision of what is retail media, but you basically get the concept. So retail media has become the digital shelf. And brands are super interesting because they have the ability to own this digital shelf and increase their sales. What you have to know is that 90% of retailers' revenue are coming from the very first page result. And that on top of this, the first 10 products are actually generating from 25 to 30% of this revenue. So owning this space is actually extremely important for the brand. When we are actually looking at the market, we are seeing, and we are talking about brands. In our technical language, we call these the demand partners. We are talking about retailers, and likewise, in our technical language, we are talking about them as suppliers. But there's a third one, which is extremely important, which is actually the consumer. What we are doing on the retailers, thanks to retail media, is addressing a message to these consumers. And for the retailers, where they are actually to sell goods to these consumers, it's extremely important, as equally important as for the consumer, that they are serving a relevant message. And by relevant message, I mean you don't want to look for baby food and get exposed to something that is completely unrelated to baby food. So the technology that is behind retail media helps actually ensuring the relevancy of the products that are displayed to the consumer. And we are creating with this a win-win-win environment because actually the consumer is being helped, exposed to new products, and is not going to be disturbed with what is actually being displayed. I believe that you've seen lately how retail media has grown. And if I'm not wrong, we are now talking about the third wave of digital marketing. So retail media has grown to an important topic for everyone being marketers. Why is that? I see three main reasons. One, because of the pandemic e-commerce boom, the unfortunate pandemic e-commerce boom, because of addressability and the uncertainty about addressability, and because of measurement. So if you look back in March 2020, when everyone was locked down, trying to find toilet papers and trying to buy flour to make sourdough, you were actually better served going online to browse and look for your product. McKinsey estimates that over this pandemic period, e-commerce grew 5% faster than before the pandemic. In Germany itself, it grew actually 2.3%. Now that the pandemic has cooled down, and thank God about this, and that we are all able to actually be here without wearing masks, we are seeing that the shopping habits even has changed and has changed to stay. In AB Europe, they are saying that e-commerce is going to represent about something around 1 trillion euros in 2022 and up to 1.4 trillion euros in 2024. So that's number one. Number two is the face of digital marketing is shifting. GDPR, CCPA, the death of the cookie announced by Google in 2023, the reliance on third-party cookies is questionable. So we are moving towards a first-party data era. And where is it the best place to actually find first-party data? Actually, the retailers. The retailers own both the inventory, the last mile, as well as excellent first-party data. So it is important to actually capitalize on this first-party data. And at Criteo, this is one of the trends that we saw since 2016, and we invested a lot on actually building something which we call the commerce media platform. The last one is actually measurement. And this is where I'm going to prove John is wrong today, because we are actually seeing very good and strong measurement within retail media. So retail media helps connecting ad spend with sales. So every brand campaign used to have impression, clicks, click-through rates, like the traditional metrics. Now we can add another one, which is the sales, the volume of sales or the volume of purchase. And we are calling this new KPI the return on ad spend. This has given retail media its strength towards the brands that are actually looking to get better understanding of their marketing investment. As what John said, the other half is now known within retail media. So with brands, we are delivering both aggregated, very top-line vision of what is actually available from reporting capabilities, as well as a very granular one. How much sales. We go even towards better KPIs like share of marketing, share of the digital shelves. What does that mean? How do you compare within your category against your competitors? And these KPIs help driving more upper funnel type of campaigns and upper funnel type of objectives, because this is where you are seeing your progression as a brand, your progression in terms of consumer understanding of your brand. So it drives awareness and consideration. So thanks to these three main topics, this is actually the big reasons why retail media is booming. When you are looking for brands over the pandemic, when they were actually trying to see where to invest, only online was available. So they all joined online through the retailers. When you're looking about the death of the cookies, first-party data, this is where retail media is proving very right. When you're looking about measuring and knowing where your investment is having a very strong impact, retailers, because they know the game. So now that we are here, I'm going to go a little bit down through where does it come from and why are we going to get there. So as every digital trend, it has started over the Atlantic, and it has soon came into Europe. What I'm very fascinated here in Germany is that a third of the German shoppers say that Amazon is actually their preferred retailer. To me, when I'm looking at Amazon, Amazon did an amazing job. They've established something which is unique. They have been able to say that they are more profitable thanks to advertisement rather than actually selling goods. And this is, to me, when I'm looking at the situation here, like a waking call. Retailers should start to embrace the fact that they have to evolve toward retail media. And actually, the brands are asking for it. Just to give you a trend in the US, eMarketer says that retail media is going to grow by 31% in 2022, up to $41 billion. And we're going to reach $52 billion in 2023. So EMEA is following close. IAB Europe says that retail media represents something like 10 billion euros. And what is interesting is that last year, 48% of the retail media came from UK and Germany. So that's proof that we are actually doing something great in EMEA. So what have we seen from Criteo's eyes in terms of retail media? Retailers started to embrace retail media earlier, are getting more engaged and more stable and more evolving towards retail media, so they are growing faster. You are seeing Walmart, for example, who has built its own network within retail media. For all the others, not everyone is Amazon or Walmart. They use third-party solution providers like Criteo. Launching retail media is not an easy task, and growing it, scaling it, is even harder. So going from 1 million to 10 to 100 million euros revenue is difficult. And actually, you need a dedicated organization to support it. Hence, also a very strong partner to help you. When you're launching retail media, you're not alone. All your competitors are actually looking into it. So you need to differentiate. You need to find how you're going to be different from all the others. You need to consider what are your assets. You need to leverage your strengths. And to do this, you need to deliver something that is valuable for your consumers and your suppliers. It is extremely important. And again, finding the right partner is helping a lot. So I'm going to end with thoughts. And these 20 minutes have been like a rush. Whom in this audience are retailers or coming from a retailer? Some. Great. So for retailers, I'm going to say that you have to embrace retail media. You have to deliver products that are helping you being differentiated compared to your competition. You have to offer your brands and your suppliers a way to communicate better towards your consumers. If you're a brand, who here are a brand, are coming from a brand? Some. Good. You need to also consider that this is a unique opportunity for you to actually maximize your results, and you are having an access to consumers that you're going to have nowhere else. So please, work with your friendly retailers to enhance and enable retail media. And if you're an agency, I'm sure there are people coming from an agency here, and I believe that your next move is actually putting retail media on your media plan. That is going to be super important. And for everyone else, all the people that I'm not seeing properly, it's potentially time for a beer. I know that there are a couple of conferences or speakers after me, but just consider it. Take a beer on behalf of retail media. Thank you, everyone.